Rapid urbanization and the fast-growing middle-class population has seen pension funds running to get the bigger share of the market, as we've seen house rents and prices triple over a decade. Hello and welcome to NTV Property Show. It's always such a great pleasure to have you with us. Today we talk about the symbiotic relationship between pension fund industry and the property market. But that's a little later on in the show. For now, here is the Property of the Week segment. Golden Oak Villas certainly speaks for itself. It offers modern tropical architecture and minimalistic interiors, providing no distraction from the surrounding landscape. Each of the 10 units stand on a 0.42-acre piece of land and is 90% complete for the construction of all units. The 5-bedroom all-en-suite units have 2 DSQs with separate toilet and bath. The front porch has a Mediterranean design with 4 pillars leading you to the palatial home. Two solid wooden doors welcome you to the home, with an accent frontal wall warmly welcoming you to the overall space. The wall is perfectly lit with a full moon sconce. The guest cloakroom is on the left from the main doors, and its wall and floor tiles match perfectly, bringing out a stylish antique feel. It is fitted with a wash basin and wide-length mirror, as well as a socket for any electric appliance. Wood laminate floors give you a warm underfoot feeling from the corridors leading to the spacious living room. Drawing one's attention without a doubt is the chandelier lighting hanging majestically at the center of the room. The fireplace is no exception, with its exquisite glossy finishing. Not many homes offer what can be used as a wine cellar cask or for storing beverages, but the case is different here. The design comes complete with MDF cabinets. The gypsum ceiling gives the room an airy feeling, and the downlighters complement the look. Large windows from the floor to the ceiling bring in an excellent amount of light, and here you may not necessarily need curtains. Another chandelier magnificently hangs in the dining room, with the gypsum ceiling also donned in warm downlighters. Sliding windows are a great attribute in the dining. Right next to the dining is the kitchen, with its grey floor tiles, a distinct feature from the rest of the wood laminated floors. An island is at the center with a 4-cooker burner and a well-lit hood, complete with a vent. The granite countertops blend well with the laminated cabinets and pull-out drawers that have hydraulic hinges. Other electric appliances that are inbuilt include the oven and the dishwasher, which is next to the double wash sink. The full moon sconces in the kitchen have bright LED lighting, which is perfect for cooking. The well-lit corridor from the entrance leads to the guest room. It has sliding windows, floor-to-ceiling wardrobes, and ample sockets and TV ports. Bright wall and floor ceramic tiles in brown and beige characterize the washroom. The shower cubicle is at the corner with a sliding door and steel handles. Towel rails and rods are also fitted. A vanity wash basin has a wide-length mirror and storage space beneath. A water spray coil is next to the toilet, allowing you to easily clean your toilet. For relaxation purposes is the TV or lounge room. It has ample space for gaming and entertainment. Beneath the wooden staircase is a storage space big enough to keep bicycles or even game kits. Up the stairs, looking up, is yet another chandelier giving such an elegant look while lighting up the staircase. The family lounge is at the end of this first flight of stairs. A common balcony is at the corner, allowing you to display all your outdoor accessories, and is big enough to even put up a gazebo. 4 rooms are at different corners from the family lounge. The first room directly from the lounge is the smallest room in the home and can be used as a nursery or an office. 2 rooms are similar to the guest room, offering ample space, sliding windows and floor-to-ceiling wardrobes. All the bathrooms have the signature brown and beige wall and floor tiles with shower cubicles, vanity wash basins and still fixtures. Exhibiting both style and functionality is the master bath. The jacuzzi is definitely eye-catching, and right next to it is the automated toilet that can even warm your seat and has specific options for male and female. Two vanity wash basins for him and her, still fixtures, and a shower cubicle with both fixed and snake shower heads are included. The master room has a wallpaper which is meant to be used as the headboard for the bed. Chandelier lighting is displayed and wall bracket with twin lights as well. On one side are the MDF boards and cabinets, giving a couple the option of using it as a TV center. Warm downlighters are dotted on the gypsum ceiling, giving it a perfect finish to the overall space. The balcony at the master rooms gives a great view of the development. Up the second flight of stairs is the attic room. Roof windows characterize this space, and although it may look or feel empty, there is so much one can do. This room can be used for absolutely anything. As an office, an extra room, or even a play area, the list is endless. Water at Golden Oak is supplied from the 350-meter deep borehole. Furthermore, each unit has an 1,800-liter tank. A backup generator is provided for common areas. Construction is underway for a clubhouse, gym, swimming pool and steam bath, all within the development and restricted for residents only. The pristine Golden Oak villas offer a prestigious residential setup, only 10 minutes walk from the main Langata Curran Road, with easy access to Galleria Mall, the Hub Curran, Nairobi Academy and Hillcrest. It also has close proximity to Curran Hospital. The 5-bedroom all-in suite is priced at 80 million shillings. A sofa is one of the biggest furniture investments you'll make and one of the most permanent. Even if you're just buying one for a temporary fix, it'll eventually get demoted from the living room to the family room and finally to the basement. Before you know it, a decade or more has passed and that impulse purchase has become part of your life. So give some thought to it before you buy. Then buy the best quality sofa that you can afford. To spot the right sofa, you have to test whether it's sturdy. Quality sofas should feel solid and heavy. Look for a frame made from hardwood such as oak, alder, birch, maple or alternatively high-quality hardwood plywood. This is one of the most important steps to begin with, as attributed by Peter Macau, Chief Executive Officer of Sofa Zetu, a local sofa store that offers quality design sofas.
The right sofa should have the correct wood. It should be hardwood and firm so that it could last long and so that you can enjoy your sofa well. It should also have identity cushions and have fiber on the pillows for comfortability.
Before you purchase a sofa, you need to ensure it will work for you. Different designs have different appeals. If your interior is traditional, look for a sofa with rolled arms, a contoured back, and tufted cushions. Contemporary sofas tend to have cleaner lines, fewer flourishes, and understated upholstery. Consider the proportions of the room and determine what height, length, and depth of sofa would look best in the space.
Different designs start from the armrests of the sofa, the footstands you put, the backrest. It depends with what you want now. There are sofas which have pillows on the backrest, sofas which are permanent back on the backrest, and we also have sofas which have permanent cushions and the removable ones.
In choosing your sofa, think critically about its size and the space that you have. If you're short on space, think about buying a sofa with low arms or no arms. It'll make your room look larger.
Space matters very well, yeah? So that very much. So that when you have a small space, you can use a sectional sofa because it does not occupy much space, and they match well with the small spaces. Yeah, it also depends with the armrests, the size of the armrests of sofas, because different designs have different sizes of armrests.
Since sofas are such a big investment, you'll want yours to stay in fashion as long as possible. Given that it's often best to stick with a neutral fabric, go through the different fabrics as is done at Sofa Zetu to make sure you choose what is right. As a rule, synthetic fabrics are more durable, color fast, and cleanable. Tightly woven fabrics and fabrics that are heavy will stand up to wear and tear better, as will leather.
We have different kinds of materials. Materials range from cotton and fabric material, leather. We also have mixed cotton and maybe polyester. So it depends with the feeling you want your visitors to have, or you want to have when you get to your house.
A sofa is the most expensive piece of upholstered furniture in the living room, and it's also the largest, of course. Therefore, careful consideration should be paid, but please don't drive yourself crazy. Quite frankly, if you stick to the manufacturers with good reputation and quality, you will get value for your money. Want to find out more on how the pension fund industry and property investment works? Well, we'll tell you more about that right after this short commercial break. Welcome back to the show. Everyone wants to ensure that they have optimal financial strategy when it comes to retirement savings. Now, whether you want to move to a different country or spend more time with your family, making sure that you have the best retirement scheme is a must. Now, we want to talk about the symbiotic relationship between pension funds and the property market. With us is Anthony Mwithiga. He is the Chief Investment Officer at CBA, and he'll help us understand what this relationship is and what the two methods are. It's great to have you with us, Anthony. Tell us about the pension funds. When we look at a retirement pension fund, it is a typical method for saving. Tell us quickly about that.
Thank you, Mel. The pension fund industry, specifically in Kenya, is divided into four tiers, if you might. There's always a national pension structure, an occupational pension structure, which is made up of employers' pension funds. Then there is a third tier, which is normally called an individual pension structure, where anybody in any tier can take it as the only pension plan or as an additional pension plan to the rest. And then there is the last one, which is a voluntary pension saving structure, which enables one to add their savings to any other form of saving, whether for retirement or otherwise.
So out of these four, whether someone is in a company or an organization, are you able to get into any of these four, or does it depend with the company?
For the national pension, it's mandatory for all working employees, and in many countries, especially in Kenya, this is provided through the National Social Security Fund, or NSSF, which administers all eligible workers of the country. Now, for joining the other pension funds, it's highly dependent of the nature and type of your employer. So every employer has a pension scheme with its own rules and regulations, which allows members to join in depending on the terms of employment. Mostly permanent employees tend to be admitted into these pension schemes, and then the last two are actually voluntary. The individual, when you make your own decision, you choose a provider, and you join and start making your savings.
Of what advantage is it, or advantages, in joining a pension fund scheme?
The first one is, of course, you are realizing that you are putting some money aside when you are not able to work. You have an income stream to sustain your life post active working life or post employment. So it's a saving. And the second one, which is very fundamental, is that retirement savings in Kenya enjoy tax benefits in two ways. One, the savings income or the investment income from saving for retirement is normally tax exempt. And secondly, deductions or savings from your income or salary towards a pension scheme also enjoy a tax relief.
The most notable disadvantage in a pension scheme is that there's no flexibility. You cannot access your money whenever you want to. And in most cases, people can access their money when they're into their 50s, 55, 60. That's one of the disadvantages. What other disadvantage have you seen in this kind of scheme specifically?
The main concern for members of pension schemes has been ability to access their money. And to a large extent, they are not supposed to access their money until they are on retirement age. But because of other circumstances which change in someone's working life, you might want to access the money earlier than envisaged, maybe at your 50s or at your 60s, depending on the retirement age of your specific pension plan or scheme. So what the regulator has done, the regulator of the pension industry in Kenya, which is the RBA, or the Retirement Benefits Authority, they passed a legislation a while ago that allows now members to access a portion of their retirement savings. And there are normally two types of retirement savings. There is one, you contribute yourself as the employee or worker or saver. And secondly, your employer also contributes for you. So there's an employee contribution and an employer contribution. The law in Kenya nowadays allows you to access the employee portion or the portion of your personal contribution when you change the scheme or the pension plan you belong in. And mostly you'll change the pension scheme or plan you belong in if you change employers. So if you go to another company and you leave your previous employment environment or institution, you can access your personal savings within the pension plan.
On the flip side, how does one benefit then if they come out of the traditional pension funds and determine their money in terms of property market? Say they want to invest in property market. How do they benefit?
They benefit in two ways. One way is that while saving for retirement or in a pension plan, pension schemes tend to invest in property. So the returns you get, which are translated to interest, some of those returns come from the property market because pension funds invest heavily in the property market. And secondly, when you retire, sometimes you are eligible to receive a lump sum payment, a pot of money which you've been saving all your life. Now, that money can be used, in many cases we've seen, to acquire an asset of property nature, either a piece of land to build a home or even to buy a house outright if the money is enough. because not every working employee is able to buy or build a home through their working life. Most of them actually construct a house when they retire.
All right, would there be any implications if one wants to sell that property?
Yes, of course there will, and in two ways. If the property is owned by a pension fund or pension scheme, the selling implies the returns or the money goes to the pension scheme and it's available and distributed to all the members as per the rules of the pension scheme. But if you want to sell your personal property bought out of pension funds, there isn't any restriction because that is a personal property.
You've seen how the property market prices keep fluctuating on and off, high, low. It's almost not possible to know how these prices will be. So is it suffice to say that property investing is less stable than pension funds?
One of the hardest things to do actually is to save to invest in property, because sometimes returns from natural saving schemes tend to lag the appreciation in prices and values of properties. So it's like you're chasing a moving target. The best way is to commit to buy a property and buy it through your course of working life, because the day you commit to buy a property and you get a loan for it or a mortgage and you pay a deposit, the cost price will never change. So you fix the cost price and you use the next 10, 15, 20 years to pay it through your salaried income or business income. And that way it becomes more efficient. But saving money for 10, 20, 50 years to come and buy a property, it might be a challenge because property prices tend to appreciate over time.
What of maintenance expenses and, say, upfront taxes that are involved in property investments?
Property investments, like any other investments, tend to have a number of expenses, and most of them are divided into two. There are those which are related to acquisition, and others are related to disposal. And in the middle, there is the maintenance ones. So in the acquisition, they are divided mainly into two. They are legal related costs and they are finance related costs. In the middle, you have your usual maintenance costs. And again, those are divided into three broad categories. There is utilities, which are in every modern home. Secondly, there are rates, which can be city rates or municipal council rates or county council rates or any land related rates which have an annual payment structure. And the third, which is a new thing to most towns and cities in Kenya, is service charge.
When we look at inflation, the rise of inflation and the effects of inflation in both the property market and the pension funds, how can you say that those two relate in that regard?
The two share a relationship there. On one side, property market and property investments in general are referred to as a growth asset class. That means they provide growth through appreciation in value, and that tends to combat the effects of inflation, which tends to eat away people's savings as time passes by. And on the other side, on the pension schemes environment or pension funds, those funds are very cautious about the ability of those monies to meet living expenses 10, 20, 30 years from now. So there's a feeling that inflation will keep on rising and the cost of living will be high. And there is a need to have an asset class or an investment which tries to a large extent control the erosion of value of money as pension scheme members keep on saving. So both of them tend to work for each other. The pension schemes or pension funds need something to beat inflation as an inflation hedge. Property, to a large extent, tends to provide that inflation hedge through the growth in value of properties.
Great. In closing, your final remarks in terms of retirement savings and, as we've been mentioning, the property market, and we've seen so many pension fund schemes coming into the property market. What are your final comments on that?
It will be for a long time that has to remain, that the property market will remain conjoined to the pension industry, because the pension industry is able to provide the patient capital which the property market needs to exist vis-a-vis other sources of financing property. And retirement savings specifically tend to find a good safe home in property assets among other eligible assets, and pension schemes tend to find comfort by telling their members, we own this building, we own these buildings, and property investments have huge advantage because they provide us with the ability of touch and feel. I mean, you can see that house or that building or that estate is owned by your pension scheme, and that gives comfort to savers and pensioners both.
Great, awesome conversation we've been having with Anthony Mithiga, the Chief Investment Officer at CBA. Question answered. Is there a symbiotic relationship between the pension fund industry and the property market? Yes, many common aspects that both share. So make sure that you actually get into a retirement savings scheme. If not, whether in a company or not, you can go voluntary. It is actually there. And that's where we end the show today. Thank you so much for keeping us company. And now you know of the symbiotic relationship between the pension fund industry and the property market. Until next Sunday, take care and God bless.